Thanks so much for your time. I am Pius Kojo Baka. This evening, Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam has announced some significant savings for the economy. This was after it received 98.6% participation from bondholders that participated in the Eurobond Debt Exchange Programme. Speaking at a news conference a while ago, the Finance Minister gave more details about the impact of this development on the economy.
As a result of this successful debt exchange, the country will exchange almost 13 billion US dollars in Eurobonds for new bonds in the coming weeks. This development, ladies and gentlemen, cures Ghana's default on international bonds, paving the way for normalized financial relationships with rating agencies and international markets. In a sense, Ghana has now restructured over 90% of its eligible external debt. Over 90% of our eligible external debt, marking a significant milestone in our economic recovery.
And I want us to go live to the Ministry of Finance, where my colleague Winston Taki has been monitoring events for us there. Winston, thanks so much for joining me on Business Live. And first off, I want you to give us a breakdown of what more the Finance Minister has been saying with regards to the restructuring of the Domestic Debt Exchange Programme as concluded, as stated as well.
All right, thank you very much, Pius. I've been here this afternoon where the Finance Minister has really announced, especially refers to Ghana's Eurobond negotiation. According to him, there's been successfully achieved about 90% the agreement in terms of coming to a conclusion, especially on the Eurobond. He basically announced that Ghana is back onto the Eurobond market based on this action that has happened. So far, government has put out about $13 billion in the Eurobond, which has been achieved. And this, he believes, is an indication that the government is on the path of succeeding, especially on having return back into the international market. He also indicated that this reflects, especially on international market, where we are receiving information that likely Ghana will receive a positive rating going forward based on this indication. And to the Finance Minister, this is the biggest and the fastest rate achieved in terms of negotiation compared to some African countries. And to him, it reflects the confidence that the international market still has on the Ghana's economy. Going forward, he also highlighted that there are issues basically that has been addressed, especially individuals who consider some of the shortcomings in the whole restructuring, especially those who decided to go by the disco option of the debt, which is basically where they will receive haircuts, compared to the par option, where there is no haircuts on the negotiation, but yet still extended resettlement period. And all these were something that were factored during this Eurobond renegotiation. So these are some of the factors that the Finance Minister highlighted, in reiterating that there is still the need for government to still stay on course. And there are also issues that he brought to light, that government is going back to the Parliament to really take a look at the Fiscal Responsibility Act, where debt limits will be placed on the ability of government to borrow on the international market going forward.
A quick one on the CD. You asked a question about that. What more has he got to say about it?
So according to the Finance Minister, this is really a good take for the city, considering the amount of dollars that was needed to be paid, especially on the domestic market. There's been so much pressure on the city, and this will bring more leverage, especially the pressure will come down going into the festive season. Government will begin repayment of some of the Eurobonds in the next few weeks. And to him, it is a very good take, because investors will have the aptitude basically to perform, especially in most of the options that they've looked forward to international markets.
Great. Thank you so much, Winston Taki, my colleague at the Ministry of Finance. Do monitor events for us and bring us more in our subsequent bulletins. But we want to elevate the conversation further. Joining us now is economist Professor Patrick Esumeng. Thanks so much, Prof, for joining me on Business Live. Now, your initial thoughts about the conclusion of the restructuring of the Eurobond Debt Exchange Programme?
To try and get this thing out of the way, you get a sense that perhaps the IMF team were going to demand that this is done before they finalize the next tranche. So perhaps there has been a push from the bank, from the fund to make sure that this is done. I think that while it's positive for us to conclude this, I think the whole idea that this will bring more relief to the city seems to be a little unfounded. We have known for a while that we are nearing the completion of the debt exchange. And so the fact that this is being completed, or the amount of savings that the government says they will make, is something that has been communicated already. The market would have incorporated this. But the idea that we are now going to start servicing our foreign currency debt, the external debt, I think that's where there's potential for more pressure to actually come on the city, rather than seeing that the city is expected to strengthen on the back of this.
But again, how crucial is this announcement to the economy as we await the passing of the third review of the IMF?
Like I said, I suspect that perhaps it has been part of the engagement. Don't forget, the IMF had been in town last week, I believe, and the discussions had been ongoing. So you get a sense that that may probably have been part of it. Now, we are told that there's some subscription of about, is it 90% or so?
98%.
So we need to know whether instead, because of this 90% subscription, whether we are going to save the initial amount that we were told that we will save. But I don't think in the short term, it sounds like it's good news for the economy. I don't think over the medium to long term, it's great news for the economy. If you look at the structure of the new bonds, the new Euro bonds, we are essentially just parking or pushing all our problems further down the line to 2026. I think what the hard work now begins. The government should come and convince us what we are going to do to ensure that when we get to full-scale payment in 2026, we will be ready. I think that's where the challenge is. So at the moment, yes, we are pushing our problems further down the line. Now the hard work begins. We want to hear what the plans are. What are the specific strategies we are going to put in place to ensure that come the time, or even including now that we have to start repaying, that we have the funds, especially the foreign currency, to repay. I think that's what Ghanaians want to hear. We shouldn't be quick to start concluding that this is time for us to celebrate.
All right, as we ponder on that, I want us to talk about the debt situation, of course, and its effects following this announcement. Well, the finance minister is optimistic that, well, this development would reduce our debt situation in nominal terms.
I don't know. I think, yes, we are getting, I think there's about 30%, 37% haircut. That is great. And the fact that we are postponing the repayment, that is also great. But look, between the time it was announced that we are going to do this and now that it is happening, look at how much the currency has depreciated. So even though in dollar terms there's been a reduction because the city has lost so much, I don't know, I think the extent of the savings might even be reduced. So I think we need to communicate the right signals and not think that completing this means we are completely, out of the woods and the things are going to be rosy from here. Things are not. The debt situation is still terrible. We haven't really addressed the root cause of the debt. Government expenditure is still outpacing revenues, and we haven't really addressed the fundamental revenue challenges. We haven't. We've just imposed new taxes that are easy to collect, and we can't keep imposing new taxes. We have to address those challenges. I think that's what we should be focusing on. This is not the time for us to start patting ourselves on the back and celebrating.
Then I guess it's also not the time for us to, quickly rush to the capital market.
Well, I think as for that, it should be out of the question. It shouldn't even cross our mind at this point.
Right.
We know that under this current IMF program, we are barred from going back to any commercial lending, commercial borrowing. That's not going to happen until we are out of this program. And who knows what else will happen come 2026. I think our economy has problems that we have to solve. Going back to the international market or having access to the capital market to resume the borrowing bench should be the last thing that we should even be contemplating. It shouldn't be, let's address the problems that the economy has. And when the economy is strong, the rating agencies themselves, they will know how strong the economy is, and our ratings will improve. And then we will decide whether it even makes sense for us to resume that hard currency borrowing in the first place. Right now, we have a problem, we have an economy to fix. Let's focus on that. We shouldn't even dream about returning to the capital market.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Patrick Esuming, for joining me on Business Live. And this, of course, is a development story, and we'll come to you as and when we need more clarification on this. Thanks so much, sir, for joining me. Now, away from that, some oil marketing companies have started increasing prices of petroleum products at the pumps from today. Star Oil and Total Energies have taken the lead, adjusting prices at their various service stations across the country. George Yafe has more.
There had been projections that prices of petroleum products should have witnessed some marginal reduction from the beginning of this month. This was based on several indicators, including the city's marginal stability, the reduction in crude and finished petroleum products over the past 2 weeks on the international market. However, checks by Joy Business showed that the second biggest player in the oil marketing industry, that is Star Oil, which is noted for lower prices on the market, has gone up. A litre of petrol has been increased by 68 pesos and it's selling at 12 Ghana cedis, 99 pesos. Diesel, on the other hand, has gone up by 73 pesos and is going for 13 Ghana cedis, 72 pesos. Another major player in the industry, that is Total Energies, selling a litre of petrol at 13 cedis, 75 pesos, whilst diesel is going for 14 Ghana cedis, 30 pesos. Some of these oil marketing firms have told Joy Business that they are reviewing their prices in line with the current spike in crude oil on the international market. But this has been described as interesting by some market watchers because the review in the first week of this month should have been guided by price movements some 2 weeks ago. Joy Business understands that more oil marketing firms are expected to review their prices in the coming days. But based on the current happenings in the Middle East, it looks like we are in for some significant spike when it comes to the prices of petroleum products.
We have more stories for you after this break. Please do stay on. Welcome back to Business Live. The Ghana Enterprise Agency and the MasterCard Foundation, as part of moves to empower young Ghanaians through the Business in a Box project, have distributed some startup materials to beneficiaries in the Okaikwe Central District. Here's a report.
The Business in a Box program was launched by the Ghana Enterprise Agency and MasterCard Foundation to provide support for women-led businesses as well as businesses owned by persons with disability across the country. After several apprenticeship trainings, the agencies are providing these startup materials as another layer of government support to small and medium-scale enterprises. Chief Executive of the Ghana Enterprise Agency, Kosiyanki Aye, explains the importance of the project.
Paying close attention to women for the first time, secondly to the youth, and thirdly to also persons with disability, for us to be very inclusive in the work that we've done. Today's program is a partnership between the Government of Ghana through the Ghana Enterprises Agency and the MasterCard Foundation. This partnership was set up because government decided that there was a need to really pay close attention to the youth of Ghana. And so what were the different programs that we had? We had the Youth Start Intervention, and we came up with a Business in a Box where we were looking at if you had a pseudo box, what would be in that box that would support the youth of this nation to be able to start or do something? It was technical skills, really training and capacity development, and also tools that would be able to build them and grow them.
Member of Parliament for Okaikwe Central and Chairman of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Finance, Patrick Boama, told Joy Business that this initiative is changing the economic landscape of the youth as it provides sustainable jobs for beneficiaries.
It will help create job opportunities and sustain job opportunities for the youth in the area. We've been doing quite a few of these initiatives in the area, and we believe that with the support we are receiving from the Ghana Enterprise Agency and through the MasterCard Foundation and with my support, will go a long way to help support the youth. You could tell the excitement on their faces, and that is what we have to do. The GA has done a lot. They are targeting over 250,000 of our youth. YEA has done quite a bit. I've also on my own done over 1,000 in my constituency. So hand in hand, we are all helping to create a good sustainable job environment within the country.
Over 200 trainees received essential startup kits, including sewing machines, hair dryers, ovens, cylinders, and makeup boxes.
The Ghana Manganese Company Limited has begun conversations with government and partners to construct an ultra-modern manganese refinery at Nsuta in the Western region. The project, which is expected to cost about $450 million, will be a game changer for the company as it hopes to employ more than 1,000 personnel when completed. General Manager of the company, Joseph Apple, mentioned this in an engagement with members of the Journalists for Business Advocacy during a visit to the company at Nsuta in the Western region. More in the following report.
The project, which is expected to cost about $450 million, will add some value to the ore produced at the Ghana Manganese Company before being exported, as well as creating jobs for more people in the area. The GMC also hopes to increase its production to about 5 million tons per year when the project comes alive fully, taking some members of the Ghana Chamber of Mines and the Journalists for Business Advocacy on a tour of the mine. General Manager Joseph Ampon disclosed that the feasibility studies has been approved and government is expected to cut salt for the project before the end of the year.
Once we put it there, we add value. So if you put in 26.5%, now we get getting out about 50%, and then that one is reachable one that we can get more money for it.
When is the refinery coming into play?
We've started the work on it already. Now we've sent our feasibility studies to the government. Once everything is approved, as mentioned over this month, getting to the early next month, the government is coming here to cut the salt, and then we'll start the processes.
Besides the plan to construct the ultra-modern refinery, the company is also in talks with the Ghana Gas Company to get direct supply of gas for its thermal plant to feed the factory. Chief Sustainability Officer Benjamin Kwashi explains.
Currently, the refinery cannot use the power generated by ECG. So the plan is to go thermal. So to go thermal, we're going to have our own plant here, thermal plant, and it's going to be gas. So we are expecting to get gas from Atwabo, to actually fuel the plant.
The GMC, as part of moves to increase export, is also collaborating with the Ghana Railway Company to reopen the railway line from the mines to the Takoradi port directly.
We have from here to Takoradi, if you go by rail, it's 63 kilometers. If you go by road, it's about 95 or 96 kilometers. So shorter distances, you can easily transport more material to the port. So railway not there is affecting Ghana Manganese so much.
So what is your intervention to this problem?
I think the board and then the Ghana government is working around it to make sure we get it running. So we are working towards it.
Eben Sabute's report for Joy Business.
The Ghana Revenue Authority is collaborating with the Ghana Armed Forces to establish a marine unit for the Customs Division of GRA. This move is expected to support the fight against smuggling along the country's water borders. Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Julie Esiam, believes this will strengthen security at the various border posts.
Visits by the Chief of Defense Staff and the team from the Ghana Armed Forces was historic, as both agencies played different roles in ensuring the country's safety. Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, Julie Esiam, welcomed the team led by the Chief of Defense Staff, Major General Thomas Opon-Pepra, noting their successful collaborations in fighting crime and blocking revenue leakages. She expressed hopes for continuing such initiatives, which have greatly contributed to economic growth.
And the partnership between the Ghana Armed Forces and the authority is a perfect example how joint efforts can yield positive results. So again, we are grateful. From securing our borders against illegal trade and smuggling to supporting one another in times of national emergency, we are hoping that the election will not become a national emergency, but these are some of the areas that we collaborate. We have seen, CDS, at first hand how our partnership has contributed to national security and economic growth. The Armed Forces has supported us, GRA, in several ways over the years to mobilize revenue for national development. Currently, the authority is collaborating with yourselves, the Ghana Armed Forces, to establish a customs marine unit, as well as developing strategic partnerships to fight smuggling that we continue to see across our borders. I must say these collaborations are working so well.
Commissioner of Customs, Brigadier General Zeblim Ayorogo, explained the concept of the new Customs Marine Unit.
We have an organogram. We are looking at this based on the naval concept, the eastern part and the western part, and the inland waters. So that will come out with the boat. Indeed, CG is working on this. So we'll just have the tools. And when the document comes, Navy will be training us for some time until we find our feet very well, then they will draw. So the concept paper is being done.
Both teams agreed to deepen partnerships to enhance revenue mobilization in the country.
Thanks so much for watching Business Live for today. I am Pius Kojo Baka. We have more stories for you on myjoyonline.com/business. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.